Carroll O'Connor truly disliked him more than almost anyone, and that tension didn't come out of thin air. It was forged through decades of strong opinions, deep convictions, and hard-earned life experience. Carroll O'Connor, born John Carroll O'Connor on August 2, 1924, in the Bronx, New York, grew up in a proud Irish-American household where education, storytelling, and tradition weren't optional. They were survival tools. Raised during the Great Depression, O'Connor developed an early awareness of class struggle, social imbalance, and the very different ways people see the world depending on where they stand. Those early hardships didn't soften him. They sharpened him. They shaped his instincts and later poured directly into his performances. O'Connor didn't just memorize lines. He lived inside his characters. After attending Wake Forest University and later the University of Montana, his academic path was interrupted by World War II when he served in the United States Merchant Marine. That experience exposed him to pressure, discipline, and the raw complexity of human behavior, forever shaping how he viewed authority, conflict, and survival. When the war ended, O'Connor didn't wander. He locked in. He returned to school, earned a degree in English, and leaned fully into his love for language, literature, and sharp dialogue. Teaching crossed his mind, but acting kept pulling harder. In the 1950s, he made a bold move overseas, enrolling at University College Dublin, immersing himself in theater culture and classical performance traditions. That time abroad changed everything. O'Connor began appearing in stage productions, tightening his delivery, sharpening his timing, and learning how to command attention without forcing it. Every role strengthened his control, preparing him for a career that demanded intellect, restraint, and emotional precision. When he returned to the United States, he didn't expect overnight success. He worked relentlessly through the 1960s, stacking guest roles and supporting film appearances one project at a time. He appeared in television and film roles that quietly showed his range, including Cleopatra, 1963, What Did You Do in the War, Daddy, 1966, and Point Blank, 1967. These performances proved he could shift between intense drama and lighter moments without losing authenticity. Industry insiders noticed, even if mass recognition was still lagging, everything changed in the 1970s. O'Connor finally landed the role that would define his career and reshape television history, Archie Bunker on All in the Family, 1971 to 1979. Archie wasn't polished or comfortable. He was blunt, stubborn, and deeply rooted in working-class Queens culture. The character reflected real generational divides, economic stress, and social anxiety boiling across America. Many actors would have avoided such a controversial role, but O'Connor leaned all the way in. He gave Archie depth, humor, and moments of vulnerability that stopped the character from becoming a stereotype. Archie became a mirror, forcing audiences to confront uncomfortable truths about race, gender roles, politics, and change. People didn't always agree with him, but they recognized him, and that recognition hit hard. All in the Family didn't play it safe. It tackled racism, women's rights, war, and economic pressure head-on, subjects primetime television rarely touched. The show became a cultural lightning rod, and O'Connor's performance sat right at the center. His work earned 4 Primetime Emmy Awards, locking his place among television's greatest performers. He continued the role in Archie Bunker's Place, 1979 to 1983, allowing subtle growth and reflection to creep into the character. But O'Connor wasn't done evolving. In the late 1980s, he stunned audiences again as Chief Bill Gillespie in the Heat of the Night, 1988 to 1995. This role flipped expectations. Gillespie was thoughtful, compassionate, and capable of growth, especially when facing racial tension and moral complexity in a small southern town. O'Connor didn't just act, He helped shape the series as a producer and writer, proving his storytelling instincts ran deep. Behind the scenes, O'Connor's personal life carried just as much weight. In 1962, while filming Cleopatra in Rome amid chaos, pressure, and massive production stress, O'Connor and his wife, Nancy Fields O'Connor, made a life-changing decision. They adopted a 6-day-old infant boy, naming him Hugh, a deeply symbolic choice honoring O'Connor's brother who had passed away just a year earlier. That adoption grounded him. It reflected compassion, remembrance, and an unshakable commitment to family, even in the middle of Hollywood madness. Hugh wasn't just a child, he was purpose. As Hugh grew older, he naturally became exposed to the entertainment world. At 17, he worked as a courier on Archie Bunker's place. It wasn't a favor, it was a lesson. Carroll wanted his son to understand discipline, responsibility, and how real sets operate. Later, while working on In the Heat of the Night, Carroll created the role of Officer Lonnie Jameson specifically for Hugh. It wasn't about shortcuts, it was about guidance. He wanted his son to grow with protection, not pressure. Sadly, Hugh's life later became marked by serious personal struggles. On March 28, 1995, Hugh passed away after a long battle with substance dependency. The loss shattered O'Connor. Rather than retreat, he turned pain into action, speaking publicly about addiction, compassion, and prevention through public service campaigns. For the rest of his life, O'Connor carried that mission forward, refusing to let tragedy be wasted. But while his personal life was heavy, tension on set told another story. O'Connor never hid his feelings toward Rob Reiner, who played Michael Meathead Stivic. He once said, "I've never hated anyone as much as I hated Rob Reiner." This wasn't casual tension, it was ideological. O'Connor felt Reiner carried himself with moral superiority, turning scenes into lessons instead of dialogue. "I'm an actor, not a preacher," O'Connor said. Despite personal resentment, O'Connor remained professional. The tension added authenticity to their scenes, creating unforgettable confrontations that audiences still talk about. Carroll O'Connor passed away at 76 on June 21, 2001, in Culver City, California, due to a heart attack linked to long-term diabetes complications. He was laid to rest at Westwood Village Memorial Park Cemetery, with his son Hugh honored on his gravestone. His story proves greatness comes with contradictions, strength and vulnerability, warmth and stubbornness, compassion and fire, and that complexity is why his legacy still stands tall today. He appeared in television roles and supporting film parts that quietly showed his range, including appearances in Cleopatra, 1963, What Did You Do in the War, Daddy, 1966, and Point Blank, 1967. These performances proved he could move smoothly between intense drama and lighter moments without losing authenticity. Industry insiders noticed, even if mainstream fame hadn't arrived yet, that all changed in the 1970s. O'Connor finally landed the role that would define his career and reshape television history, Archie Bunker on All in the Family, 1971 to 1979. Archie wasn't polished or comfortable. He was blunt, stubborn, and deeply rooted in working-class Queens culture. The character reflected real generational divides, frustrations, and social anxieties that America was wrestling with at the time. Many actors would have backed away from such a controversial role, but O'Connor leaned in. He gave Archie depth, humor, and moments of vulnerability that prevented the character from becoming a shallow stereotype. Instead, Archie became a mirror, forcing audiences to confront uncomfortable truths about race, gender roles, politics, and change. People didn't always agree with Archie, but they recognized him, and that recognition hit hard. All in the Family didn't play it safe. It tackled racism, women's rights, war, and economic stress head-on, topics that primetime television had avoided for years. The show became a cultural lightning rod, and O'Connor's performance sat right at the center of it all. His work earned him 4 Primetime Emmy Awards for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Comedy Series, locking his place among television's elite. He continued the role in Archie Bunker's Place, 1979 to 1983, extending the character's life while allowing subtle growth and reflection to creep in. But O'Connor wasn't finished evolving. In the late 1980s and early 1990s, he stunned audiences again, this time as Chief Bill Gillespie in the Heat of the Night, 1988 to 1995. This role flipped expectations. Gillespie was thoughtful, compassionate, and capable of growth, especially when facing racial tension and moral complexity in a small southern town. O'Connor didn't just act in the series, he helped shape it as a producer and writer, proving his storytelling instincts ran deep. Behind the scenes, O'Connor's life carried just as much weight. Back in 1962, while filming Cleopatra in Rome, a production famous for its chaos, massive budget issues, and pressure-filled environment, O'Connor and his wife, Nancy Fields O'Connor, made a life-altering decision. Amid long shooting days and industry stress, they adopted a 6-day-old infant boy, naming him Hugh. The choice was deeply personal. The name honored O'Connor's brother, who had passed away just a year earlier, blending grief with hope in one powerful moment. That adoption reflected more than compassion. It showed O'Connor's unwavering commitment to family, even while navigating the unpredictable demands of Hollywood. It was a turning point that grounded him, proving that no matter how loud the industry became, family always came first. A child whose very name carried the weight of love, memory, and loss, Hugh was never just a name in the O'Connor household. It was a reminder of family, history, and responsibility. As Hugh grew older, he naturally became exposed to the world of television and film through his father, Carroll O'Connor, whose career dominated much of American television. At just 17 years old, Hugh stepped onto a professional set for the first time, taking on a small but meaningful role as a courier on Archie Bunker's Place. On paper, the job seemed minor, but in reality it was huge. It placed Hugh inside the environment that had shaped his father's life, discipline, and legacy. For Carroll, already a television icon by that point, it wasn't about favoritism, it was about exposure. He wanted his son to understand the rhythm, pressure, and responsibility of a real working set, not just the glamour people imagined. That decision reflected Carroll's belief in earned respect. He wasn't handing Hugh fame, he was showing him how work actually gets done. It strengthened their bond while quietly teaching lessons about professionalism, accountability, and showing up prepared. Hugh wasn't treated like the boss's kid. He was expected to pull his weight just like everyone else. Later, Carroll took that mentorship one step further. While working on In the Heat of the Night, he created the character of Officer Lonnie Jameson, specifically for Hugh. This wasn't a shortcut. It was a carefully controlled opportunity. Carroll understood how unforgiving the industry could be, and he wanted his son to have room to grow under guidance rather than pressure. The gesture spoke volumes. It showed Carroll's deep desire to support Hugh creatively while also protecting him from the harsher sides of fame. He wasn't shielding him from reality. He was helping him navigate it. That balance between father and mentor revealed a softer side of Carroll O'Connor that many never saw. Sadly, Hugh's life was marked by serious personal struggles as he grew older. On March 28, 1995, Hugh passed away after a long battle with substance dependency, a loss that deeply impacted Carroll and his family. The grief was overwhelming, and no parent is ever prepared for such pain. The loss reshaped Carroll, not just privately, but publicly as well. Rather than retreat, Carroll chose action. He began speaking openly about addiction, focusing on awareness, prevention, and compassion rather than blame. He appeared in public service campaigns with the Partnership for a Drug-Free America, using his voice to highlight the real human cost behind addiction, not statistics, but families. Carroll didn't pretend to have all the answers. He spoke as a father who had loved, hoped, and struggled alongside his child. His message wasn't judgment, it was urgency. He pushed for understanding, early intervention, and support systems that could help others avoid the same heartbreak. For the rest of his life, Carroll O'Connor remained committed to advocacy. He transformed unimaginable loss into purpose, showing resilience that few could manage. That chapter of his life cemented his legacy not just as an actor, but as a deeply devoted father who refused to let tragedy be wasted. But while his personal life carried heavy emotion, tensions on set told a very different story. Carroll O'Connor was never someone who softened his words when he felt strongly, and that included his feelings toward Rob Reiner, who played Michael Meathead Stivic on All in the Family. In interviews and private conversations, Carroll made no effort to hide his disdain. He once said, "I've never hated anyone as much as I hated Rob Reiner." That statement wasn't casual. It reflected years of tension that never cooled. This wasn't a simple case of clashing personalities. Their conflict ran deeper, rooted in differences in attitude, ego, and creative approach. Carroll believed Reiner carried himself with a sense of moral superiority, especially because of the political contrast between their characters on screen. According to Carroll, Reiner often acted like he was the smartest person in the room. Carroll, fiercely protective of his craft and deeply committed to authenticity, bristled at that energy. To him, it felt dismissive, not just of Archie Bunker, but of the work it took to portray such a complex character. It wasn't just about acting choices, it was about presence. Carroll felt Reiner challenged authority, questioned intentions, and disrupted the balance on set. What others saw as confidence, Carroll interpreted as arrogance. That tension never faded. It lingered, thick and unavoidable. While other cast members built friendships and shared laughs, Carroll and Reiner remained distant. There were no off-camera bonds, no easing of hostility, just a professional line that stayed firmly drawn. The atmosphere was tense, and everyone felt it. This wasn't Hollywood gossip. It was a clash of worlds, values, and pride, and that friction would leave a lasting mark on one of television's most iconic shows. Carroll O'Connor never pretended the tension wasn't real. He openly described Rob Reiner as distant, cold, and condescending, making it clear there was never any off-camera friendship to soften things. O'Connor once reflected bluntly that there was never a moment when I felt like Rob was my friend. To him, Reiner always seemed to be pushing, proving, and competing in ways that felt exhausting rather than collaborative. That constant friction left O'Connor feeling isolated on a set where chemistry was supposed to flow naturally. He wasn't just defending the character of Archie Bunker, he felt like he was defending his own professional worth every single day. Long hours, intense scripts, and creative pressure only magnified the frustration, turning routine scenes into emotional minefields. According to O'Connor, their interactions were tense, awkward, and often openly hostile. He believed Reiner's behavior added unnecessary strain to already demanding shooting schedules. But this wasn't just about personal dislike. It went deeper than that. There was a philosophical clash at the heart of it all. To O'Connor, Archie Bunker was never a cartoon villain. He was layered, flawed, and deeply human, a character that required restraint, balance, and careful interpretation. O'Connor took that responsibility seriously, crafting Archie as someone audiences could recognize even when they disagreed with him. Reiner's approach, however, felt different to O'Connor. He believed Reiner leaned heavily into satire and ideological certainty, turning the father-son dynamic into what felt like a constant moral lecture. O'Connor once summed it up sharply, saying it wasn't about acting, It felt like Reiner was trying to teach him a lesson every day about liberal versus conservative thinking. Right versus wrong, O'Connor said. I'm an actor, not a preacher. That ideological tension made shared scenes especially difficult. O'Connor felt he had to navigate Reiner's impulses while staying true to the essence of Archie Bunker, without letting the message overpower the performance. Despite how intense those feelings were, O'Connor never allowed them to explode on camera. His professionalism stayed locked in. Even while carrying personal resentment, he ensured that the tension worked for the scene rather than against it. Ironically, that real-life animosity may have added fuel to the electric chemistry audiences couldn't look away from. Archie and Michael's confrontations felt raw, authentic, and emotionally charged, and viewers felt it. While O'Connor might have dismissed that as a small consolation privately, the truth is that friction helped make their scenes unforgettable. Still, O'Connor never softened his stance. He maintained until the end of his life that his dislike for Reiner was unmatched. He once said plainly, "I've worked with many people I couldn't stand, but Rob topped them all." That wasn't bitterness. It was honesty, delivered without filters. In many ways, O'Connor's feelings toward Reiner reflected his own complex personality. He was fiercely passionate about his craft, deeply protective of artistic integrity, and unafraid to confront people he found insufferable. While audiences saw the gruff but lovable Archie Bunker, behind the scenes was a man who took acting and respect seriously. This behind-the-scenes tension revealed how legendary collaborations can hide real emotional battles. On-screen magic doesn't always mean off-screen harmony, and All in the Family was proof of that. Carroll O'Connor passed away at the age of 76 on June 21, 2001, in Culver City, California, a place deeply connected to the entertainment industry and his career. The cause was a heart attack, linked to long-term complications from diabetes, a condition he had battled quietly for years. Diabetes had taken a toll on his cardiovascular health, gradually weakening his heart. His passing marked the end of a major era in American television. O'Connor wasn't just an actor. He was a cultural force who brought humor, depth, and social commentary into living rooms across the country. After his death, O'Connor was laid to rest at Westwood Village Memorial Park Cemetery, a resting place for many Hollywood legends. The location reflected both his stature and the respect he earned throughout the industry. In a deeply personal tribute, his gravestone also honors his son, Hugh. That inclusion wasn't symbolic, it was emotional. Hugh had been central to O'Connor's life, adopted during a pivotal moment in his career, and forever bonded to him as both father and mentor. The shared memorial stands as a quiet but powerful reminder of O'Connor's devotion to family. It shows how his personal life and public legacy were inseparable, woven together by love, loss, and resilience. Carroll O'Connor's story proves that greatness often comes with contradictions. He could be warm and difficult, generous and stubborn, compassionate and unyielding, all at once. And that complexity is exactly why his legacy still resonates today. If you appreciate deep dives into Hollywood legends, behind-the-scenes truths, and stories they don't usually tell, make sure to subscribe. Hit the like button, drop a comment, and share this video if it added something new to your perspective. More stories like this are coming, so don't miss the next one.